Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, December 1st. Yes, we are in December. It is time to make sure you have your shopping list, checked who's naughty and nice, all of that good stuff. So awesome. Making our way here to the end of the year. Here's a look at our futures. We are pushing up a little, I say a little bit, it's like 300 points, but we gave over 600 points away yesterday. So why do I say it like that? Am I negative, Nelly? No, I am not. But I'm not it's ducking my head in the sand either. So something we really need to watch, see how we've made lower highs here, right across here. So what we want to see out of today's candle is a solid push, solid close up here, maybe even test that 20. Now this is on the future, so it'll look a little different on the SPY. But I think this is a really important lesson to pay attention to. So although we are not making new highs, we're not really just pushing more lows, right? Because we had a low, a little bit higher of a low inside candle, closed lower, and undecided yet. So we are in this kind of weird pattern. I shouldn't even say weird, just kind of a stall. Today, Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen will be up on the Hill. Yesterday they were in front of the Senate Banking Committee. Today they'll get beat up by the House Banking Committee. I don't expect anything new. We kind of got all of that news out yesterday. What we knew that the taper was coming. It's something that the markets had priced in. I think when he said that inflation is no longer transitory, because we all know that. But the confirmation of that, and that they were going to step up the taper, that was a possibility. And why is that? It kind of, why did that throw us in this sort of downward spiral? Well, as soon as that taper's done, then we can look at interest rate hikes. And so I think the timeline changing that little bit from the last time we heard about it just really threw the markets for a twist, and then they had a pretty good overreaction. So that's just kind of how it goes. We also are, waiting to learn more about the new Omicron variant. And what does that look like? Is it more contagious? Is it more deadly? Meanwhile, we have the FDA coming out and approving the Merck COVID pill, and what this will do is treat you so that the likelihood of death, it drops dramatically. So that is a good thing, so it's kind of a good news, bad news kind of situation. There's also another pill coming out by Roche to treat COVID, and they are not yet sure about how effective it'll be on this new variant because that data is not yet in. But one thing that we learn about viruses is that their intent is not to kill the host because they want to thrive, and that is why it constantly evolves and mutates. We call it mutate because that sounds more, virally. But it evolves. That's exactly what it does. Do you think about it like every year? We've talked about booster shots. Are we going to have to get those every year? What is that going to look like? Well, I want to point out that those of us who get flu shots, it's not the same flu shot every year, right? They take the strains that they think are going to be the most predominant. They throw it together. Some years they nail it, and some years they don't. And that's because it's constantly evolving. So I think there's just an overall a huge amount of built up fear in the market and internationally regarding the virus. And so as news comes out, we will digest it. But for right now, the market's kind of in a sideways move. But don't mistake when I say that although we are making some lower highs, the market itself is incredibly strong and incredibly resilient. And even in days where you have 600 points down, there are some amazing pockets of opportunity. And then that's where you need to look. Be really selective. If you can't seem to find any, walk away from the day. There's no use in trading on a day and forcing yourself to trade when the trade's not there simply because you feel like you're supposed to be at work, right? Because a lot of us, this is our job. Okay, that's my little spiel for this morning. Let's take a quick little look at Bitcoin. Yesterday, I liked Bitcoin quite a bit. I still like it here. We are getting tighter and tighter in price action. And I think that is what we really need to watch. I'm going to pull these levels out here because to me, I'm not, everybody knows I'm not very artsy. So what I see may not be what you see in the chart. I understand it, but to me, it looks like a really nice little wedge here going. And so we will look for a break of that wedge. Ooh, there we go. Kind of funky, but there we go. All right, so looking for this, we are getting tighter and tighter in price action, and we'll see which way we spring. So like the look in Bitcoin. Okay, and then we see oil making a little bit of a comeback here. So keep an eye on that as well. All right, let's hop into some plays. First thing I'm going to talk about is Apple. Apple just crushed this trend line really strong. Did not give a gosh darn about what was going on in the markets yesterday and closed very close to all-time highs. This morning we are gapping up. Apple, just a beautiful trade. Great. Nate took it, and I know a lot of you took that with him. We're sitting over 168 right now. Just a beautiful trade. Apple came out with some pretty decent numbers on their iPad, so I think we'll start to see some more of those trickle out here as we get closer to Christmas. And of course, holiday season is really good for Apple because everybody gets this. Not everybody. A lot of iPhones being given as gifts. iPhones, iPads, things like that. And watches, the wearables, right? Those have really taken hold. And of course, with all of that goes all of the services that you, and apps and stuff that we buy to put on those. So, all right, Apple, continuing on. If you are not yet in this, I would watch for maybe a little bit of a pullback at the open, but I would play an opening range break. And, you know, I know that we talk a lot about, you know, we seem to see that pop, and then it kind of, the market just kind of goes, nothing, doesn't really give us much. So here's how I would play. If you're going to play an opening range break, maybe you take it on that 5-minute, play it, take a little bit less profit. See how we are reacting at the 30-minute mark and the 1-hour mark. If it's still continuing on, obviously stay in. If we start to see that pullback, step aside and then look at those time periods to see if we continue on. That 1-hour mark really kind of sets the tone for the day. Typically, now don't forget, with the testimony happening, if anything new comes out, we might get a bit of moving around. End of the week, we have the labor report, the monthly labor report. We did well on the ADP report, so we might get a nice little bump into that labor report as well. A couple we were looking at yesterday before the end of the close. Zen, so really nice. So we had this big old, there we go, big old drop down. You know, this kind of looks like a handle with a big old cup, but I don't know. Anyway, nice move here, but pushing back up above the point of control, really clear breakout area. Like this for a move into the gap. I like the January 110s. All the ones I'll be talking about today are going to be January, but please choose your own expiration and strike. I'm just telling you where I like them. January 110. Boeing, I don't play this, and this one can be incredibly difficult to play. Boeing can really, really just whip you around, very volatile. Made a really nice comeback here yesterday. Didn't quite go green. I like this over 199.45 for a move to maybe touch that gap. And when it moves, it can move very well. The ATR is about $7 in there. So keep an eye on Boeing, and I like the 210s. Just for a play off of news, I would take a look at Merck. It looks like it's pulling back here in the pre-market, but may get a nice little bump after the market opens. It had bumped up almost to 80, and now it's back pretty just above yesterday's opening price. So see if we get just a play off news and a play off of the 200, maybe the 200 here, because it popped up, came back in, see if it touches that 200 for a reversal. So take a look at the Merck 75 or 80s there in Merck. All right, Unity Software. Watching this one, came down, hit the 34. That's an exponential moving average. Yesterday used it and moved up. Pretty nice close, relative strength there. Looking for a move over the 20 on this one. On Unity Software, I like the 180s. Another one we looked at yesterday before the close, Playboy, just happened to pop up on a scan here, had a little bit of extra volume. Really long leg doji, so no decision here at all. But I do like this over 38.60. That'll bring us up over this previous candle, the previous close, and see if we get a nice little bump off of Playboy just for the articles. And 40, I like the 40s. Going into yesterday, several were playing Blink. And now it's, there we go. Oh, my charts are lagging already. That's not a good sign. I really like Blink. So it came down and touched that 200. What a ride yesterday. You know, started out and everybody's like, yay, this is doing great. Yeah, oh, wait, no. We're down here at the 200 and fought its way all the way back up. Really nice here to close over the 20. I like this over the high of yesterday. So it has a little bit of room to move here. We do have some resistance coming up right ahead, but that'll get us up over these candles here. Well, that's not a straight line. There we go. All right, these candles here, and will give us a nice push of the 20 coming up over, bring the 3 up to the 8 nicely there. In Blink, I like these at the 40. Well, if you're going to have Blink, you might as well plug it into something. Lee Auto, what a beautiful day yesterday. A lot of volume. We are a couple days out now from earnings, had a nice gap on earnings, held a lot of that, came in yesterday, pushed it right back up. So keep an eye on Lee. Anything over yesterday's close in Lee, I like that at the 37. EXPE, another one that just did not care what the market was doing. We had drawn in these trend lines going into yesterday, came up and just went right on through it. Really strong close. Again, anything over yesterday's close yesterday, we are past earnings, the $60 mark. I very much like that. Oh, Etsy is on this list. A lot of retailers having a hard time. So you can certainly look at those for some recovery plays, reversal plays. Etsy, another one, would like to see this push down just a smidge, touch that 20 and reverse back up. But I like this level coming along across this fib line. I think this is a pretty good level of support. Etsy, I like the 280s for the reversal. QuantumScape, another one, you know, was doing really well, sold off an awful lot, but came up here, hit the 50, came back up over the 50, so looking for a reversal play there on QuantumScape as well. I like the 30s. Bloom Energy, there are a few other energy names I'd maybe take a look at, like Devon Energy. Look at this move. We came down here really close to the 50, pushed our way back up right up to the 34. We are below some pretty decent moving averages, but again, at these, catching these on their reversal can be a really nice place. We also had this big gap here, and we didn't quite come down and touch it, but pretty close. So I like the look of this for a potential reversal. Nice long tail telling us that maybe the reversal or continued recovery from that reversal is set to take place. And lastly, be sure to go look at any of your COVID plays, vaccine plays. Pfizer did really well yesterday after getting smacked with the ugly stick, came down, bounced this fib line really nicely. We've been holding in higher volume on PFE. I like anything over yesterday's close here, and that would be the 55 strike are the ones that I would watch on PFE. But definitely go and look at BNTX, mRNA, J&J, all of these, NVAX, all of these in play as we continue to hear news about the new virus variant. All right, that is it for me this morning. I hope you have an awesome day. If you have any questions, Heather, see at givingtreetrading.com.